Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Peridot. Now, I actually haven't heard of that word before, which I thought was a little bit weird, interesting, because when I read up about it, it is a semi-precious stone, which actually looks not too different from what you see in the thumbnail. Now, the reason I say that is unusual is my sister, at one point in her career, decided to start a jewelry business. And she really did focus predominantly on good looking, semi precious stones. And she was actually even retailed at Bloomingdale's at one point. She used to have this fantastic book, actually. It was like a hard book, kind of textbook, essentially, of all of the different stones that are there. And I used to sort of study it out of curiosity, you know, misspent youth. And I was kind of surprised I didn't recognize the stone, but that's because I knew it under a different name, which is. Oh, pardon me, I had that somewhere in here and then I lost track of it. I think chrysolite. So you may recognize it under that name. I'm not sure why it's called Peridot here, but that's what we're actually going to be featuring today. Now, unusual for a Monday, I am going to be playing James Sinclair's puzzles from his Artisanal Sudoku set. As usual, on the off chance that they don't take very much time, I've prepared up to 3 puzzles, the 3 free ones. Normally, by the time I kind of solve it, I've actually only been able to solve 2 of them in a reasonable amount of time, but we'll see how we get on. What else do I want to mention before we just get started? Yeah, the reason I'm featuring on a Monday is, as you've probably noticed, I've been a bit lazy during the vacation time that I've had and posting a little bit later in the day. But, forgive me for sleeping in. I say sleeping in, our dogs wake us up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to take them out at the moment. Really hoping that the clock will change soon so that we can get back to somewhat decent time. Anyway, first puzzle to go is Peridot by James Sinclair, and the following set of rules. I actually love the fact that it almost looks like a gem in itself, with kind of the sort of known kind of yellowish green light, and I guess maybe that's a little bit of luster with the blue. Maybe that's kind of the idea. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Column, and then 3 by 3 box. We have, and it says all the clues are standard, so you're going to recognize killer cages. These 3 cells have to add up to 6, 15, 15, etc. We also have crop dots, white and black specifically. Quick reminder, if it's a white dot, then they have to be consecutive. So if this cell is 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 3 for it to be consecutive. If this is 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that essentially they're in a 2 to 1 ratio. No word about negative constraints, so I'm kind of going to assume they don't apply, as in, a 2 with a 4, a 3, clearly consecutive, clearly in a 2 to 1 ratio, no black dot, no white dot, all of which is allowed. Fairly straightforward set of rules. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And this seems like it's going to be a walk in the park, if I'm honest. Because the white crop dots inside the killer cages basically gives the game away. 3 cells have to be 1, 2, 3. The 2 is going to be in the middle. 3 cells that add up to 24. They have to be 7, 8, 9. Again, the 8 has to be in the middle. 4, 5 is the only way that it could be consecutive and add up to 9. 15, it can only be 7 and 8. 15 has to be 4, 5, 6 with 5 in the middle. 9 is 2, 3, 4 with 3 in the middle. Just the white crop dots basically gives the game away. 1, 2, 4 for 3 cells to essentially add up to 7. That 2 has to be in the middle. This has to be a 1, 4 pair, and that is going to give us more digits. That is going to be the 4, the 2, the 1, the 4, the 3, the 1, and we're truly off and racing now. This has to be 3, 6 to be in a 2 to 1 ratio. Nothing else will do. This is looking a bit trickier. I can't repeat digits. Killer cages, sum to the digits inside each cage is equal to a small number in the top left corner, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So I think the best I can do is 482? That's the largest I can do, which actually works. That's the 4, that's the 2, that's the 8. This has to be an average of 6, so the 6 goes in the middle. Then 5 and 7 are surrounding it. Unknown where the 5 and 7 go at the moment. 21 is an average of 7, which goes in the middle, surrounded by 6 and 8. 6 in here gives me 8, gives me 6, gives me 5, gives me 7. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, yeah, they are resolved. 4, 6, 4. The 7, 8 here. Actually, the 7 gave me the 9. There's a bit of rotational symmetry, so like I'm kind of going round, checking what's been sold in one corner and why it hasn't been sold in the other, just in case I've missed some obvious Sudoku. Now, the remaining cages, I don't seem to be able to resolve, so we're going to have to resort to, I say resort, as if it's a bad thing, to a bit of Sudoku. And I'm looking for the cells that are kind of rows, columns, boxes, digits that are the most solved. For example, I need a 7-8 pair in row 3. Can't be in here, and in fact can't be in there. So that gives me another 7-8 pair, and this has to be another 5-9 pair to complete row 3. So we're going to keep on the lookout for those. Less useful in here, and I kind of don't appreciate why. So essentially I have a 5 and a 9. I know the 9 isn't here, but yeah, it's not quite the same, even though this is rotationally symmetrical. This isn't. The 15 and the 9 are not. That should have been 5. And then, yeah, it still isn't quite adding up, because the 14 and 7 are not rotationally symmetrical. So yeah, that's why. Anyhow, forget rotational symmetry. Let's just do some Sudoku. So what am I after? I'm after 1, 3, 5, and 9. Not brilliant. I am after 1, 7, 8, 9. This is not 7 or 8. This is 1 or 9. The 6, 7, 8 run here is generally proving to be quite useful. With the 4, 5, this is 1, 2, 3, 9. I'm not a fan. Far too many pencil marks for my liking. Am I missing more obvious things? Short answer is usually yes, but come on. Not really jumping off the page for me. 7, 7 means there's 7, 8, and 7. 8 is now in here in box 7 because of all the remaining 8s. And I need an 8 in one of these 3 cells. Not brilliant. And then one of these 3. So again, not brilliant. And then here. And there. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm not going to pencil mark any of these. What about column 3? If row 3 was interesting, let's have a think. So I need 1, 4, 5. So maybe, yeah, the 4, 5 are not here. Actually, I don't need a 4. I need 1, 9, 5, and 6. This is not 5 or 6, so this is 1, 9. 6 is not here either, so the 6 is there. Just Sudoku. The 5 has to be in here, so this is 1, 5 now with a definite 5. That gives me 9 in here, it gives me 5 in there. 9 would have been more useful, to be fair. 9 is none of these. Doesn't force anything in here. In fact, that 9 forces a bunch of things, doesn't it? 1, 5 pair, 9. Lovely. 1 and 5 means that this is 4, 2 and 4. That's the 4, that's the 2. These cells now are 1, 3, 9. Neither of these are 9, so that is my 9. Rest of this is 1, 3. I need a 6, which can only be in here. Then I need another 1, 3, and a 2. The 2 can't be here, so that's the 2. That can't be 1, that's 3. That's 1, that's 3. That's not 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 7, 8, 9. This is 7, 9. This can only be an 8. And this is another 7, 9. much better once you sort of get this spot, so to speak. What am I after? Okay, let's just do these two cells. This is 3 and 5, unresolved. I need 1, 3, and 5 in here. This is 1 or 5. This could be any. This allows me to complete this column. I need 1, clearly the 7, and the 6. Not 7, not 6. Actually, not 6 either. So this is the only place for a 6 because of this 3-6 pair. So I have another 1, 7, 9 plus an 8. The 8 can't be here, so this is the 8. This can't be 7, so this is another 1, 9. That's 7, that's 1. 1, 9 pair allows me to place, I'm going to say 2 and 3. That's 3, that's 2. Getting there. 1, 4, 9. Yeah, I'm just going to pencil mark the whole lot. Not 4, not 9, not 1. And then I need 2, 5, and 7, I'm going to say. Not 2 or 7, that is the 5. And that's the 7, that's the 2. Just all of this is just Sudoku. I'm just trying to save time by not pointing out where they are so I can try and get onto more puzzles. I'm not doing too well with Sudoku. That's been like a habit recently. This 1, 3, 5 is not resolved. This one gave me 5 and 1. That should mean the ones are, I was going to say done, but they're not. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a 5, 6, 7, 8. The second 7, 8 is not here. This is not 5. This is 6 or 9. 7, 9 pair. Maybe the column. Actually, that 5 gave me 4 and 5, which gave me 1. Then I have another 1, 2, 9, plus something else. Notice that these, neither of them could be 1 or 2. So that's the 1, that's the 2, and then 3, 9 in here. This is 3, that's 9, that's 7, that's 8, that's 9. That's not 1 either, and that's 9. This is known now, this is 7. Doesn't give me anything. In the column, I need another 4, 9, and a 3. This is not 3 or 4, so that's the 9. That's 4, that's 3. That gives me 5, 3, 5. I need a 1 and a 4. That's 4, that's 1, that's 1, that's 9. We're getting there. That's 7. That 9 gave me 6. That also gave me 3 and 6. We're nearly done now. 5, 8. You know, actually, what is that 0? Was that a type over 9? Let's assume so. 4, and if I've not made any mistakes, 6 for the finish. Lovely puzzle as always, James. I'm going to keep going now with puzzle 2, where all the roads lead by Matt Tressel. Rules-wise, we've covered the killer cages earlier. We've covered normal Sudoku rules. So the only addition here, and we've covered the crop dots. So I'm just going to focus on the arrows. So a digit along an arrow line must sum to the digit in the attached circle. So these 3 cells will sum up to a value that you're going to have to be able to write in here. If it's just one arrow cell, well, these 2 values are the same. Fairly straightforward. Link in the description down below as usual. And I'm going to restart and see how I get on. And that looks good to go. So essentially, because this is a black crop dot, this is 6 or 8, and I say because that's the minimum of 1, 2, 3, there has to be a 1 in here. And it could be 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4 for 8, otherwise it's 1, 2, 3. And we've got the same thing in here in that, no we don't, this could be a 9. 8 and 6 forces 3 and 4 in here. That could be a 9, so not the same. All of these, however, are 6, 7, 8, 9, so I'll keep that in mind. That is another 6, 8, in fact, because that's another black crop dot. So this is not 7, 9, and this is another 3, 4. And I'm very tempted to color. I don't know if it requires it, but these are clearly different because the 3 and 4 are different. Therefore, the multiple of 2 is going to be different. This is 8, 9. 8 and 9 meaning this is 6, 7. This is 8, 9. You need one of each basically to get to 15. This 15 doesn't quite help. There's another 1 in here. So, okay, so that's... No, it doesn't have to be 1. I can actually get away with 2, 3, 4, and a 9. And in fact, these two could be double 9s, can't they? No, because these 3 cells... Interesting. This is getting very interesting. Let's have a think about this. Right, so I think I mentioned why these have to be different. So I'm going to go red. I actually wanted to go orange and then, I don't know, yellow. Now, these two also have to be different because they can see both yellow and orange. So these are 7 and 9. And I also know they're different because they're summing up to different cells. So regardless of what this cell is, which is shared between the 7 and the 9, these two have to be different because they're in the same column, same box. And therefore, these two are also different. This is fascinating now. Color is probably not necessary, but I'm actually enjoying the fact that I am coloring. It kind of shows off the beauty, I think, a little bit better. So 7, 9, 7, 9. It also makes this interesting. Where is 7, 9, the green 7, 9 specifically, inside box 5? And the short answer is it clearly can't be something that we're summing up to. It can't be in here because of Sudoku. Can't be in there because of Sudoku. Sadly, I can get away with it being in here. Essentially, nothing stops me from having a 2, a 7 to get to the 9, and then that would require a 4 or a 6 to get to the 6 or 8. So almost, but not quite. 1 for sure in here to get to 6 or 8. So 6, 3 or 4, 8 isn't enough to actually help force this. So I need more trickery, so to speak, to get to the next set of digits. That's a fascinating puzzle, Matt. Right. There is no 3 or 4 in here. And I'm adding up 2 digits that add up to 9, and I'm adding up 2 digits that add up to 7. So if you think about the options for the 9, 4, 5 is out, as is 3 and 6, because I can't have either in these 3 cells. So the remaining options, and remember, one of them has to be common with the 7. Let's just focus on the 9 for now. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3, 6 is out, 4, 5 is out. Okay. So one of these, yeah, because the 8, whichever one is adding up to the 9, it has an 8 or a 7 on that branch, which is going to be the bigger digit that is certainly not going to be allowed on the other side. What do I mean by that? So essentially, these cells are made up of 1, 8, no. 2 of these cells are made up of 1, 8, 2, 7. Now, the center digit, if it's made up of 7 or 8, I will break the 7 for sure. So the center digit has to be the 1 or 2. Then the branch that's alongside, next, that's pointing towards the 9, is essentially 7 or 8. Would that, I mean, it would work because that would be 9. So this being 7 or 8 is fine. Now, the 1 or 2 to get to 7 would have to be 5 or 6. One of these is 5 or 6. One of these is 7 or 8. And obviously, I don't know which direction it is. What's interesting is the side that is the 7, yeah, it's not forced, you see, because if that's 6, that would force an 8. And that would force a 1. That would force a 7. That would force a 9. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's not quite enough, again, to force this. So I feel like I should probably be thinking about these 15 and 13 cages to a degree. And then this black crop Peridot to kind of bring it home, so to speak. What's interesting is the 7 or 8 side is definitely one of the 4 cells. So essentially, one of these cells is going to be kind of the polar opposite. Because essentially, if this is 7 or 8, that would be the 7 or the 8. And it would essentially end up being green or orange. The 5 or 6 can't be exactly the same, though. So this is 6 or 8. This would be, if it's, I feel like I almost want to pencil mark my options. But before I do that, let's just think about the 15 and the 13, and then we'll come back to box 5. Box 5 is remarkably interesting. Actually, this one too is adding up to 6 or 8. So what are my options? It's probably worthwhile thinking about this cell as well, because that arrow sum is clearly meant to help us. So I could do 7, I could do 6, I could do 5, and I could do 4. Not brilliant. Yeah, no clue. Huh. I should delete these before I use it accidentally. And I know I should fully pencil mark these. Right, this one next. Essentially, there's another 8, 9 plus a 6, 7. Why is that helpful? It's telling me there is no 8 in here because the 8 and 9 are fully used up. Doesn't say anything about this being forced to be 3, 6 though. I still have 1, 2, and 4. Yeah, I'm going to have to start thinking about the combos of all of these. Okay. Right, 13 cage. Why is this helpful? Maybe it's not useful yet for the break-in. And this is actually taking quite some time to appreciate. You see, the arrow sums are also interesting. Here. Yes. Yes. Okay. Green in box 9. Sudoku says it's none of these. Arrow sum says, unless the other 2 pairs are 0, can't be on here. So green has to be inside this complex, so to speak. And they will be paired up with one of orange or yellow. Interesting so far. And then green would have to be one of these cells because 7 and 9 are too big to be on here. I am going to do a bit of coloring here. I'm clearly not, I didn't appreciate just how much harder this puzzle is. And then red is, we can repeat the same trick. And again, it can't be on the arrow. So there is red in here. And then red can't be in any of these cells. And then 7 and 9 is too big on a 3-cell arrow to get to 6 or 8. So one of these 2 is red. Now I think red, same trick, isn't it? Red cannot be on a 3-cell arrow. And 7 and 9 cannot pair. So, what am I trying to say? Sudoku says red is not here. Arrow sum says red is not there. Arrow is essentially forced into one of these three cells, which means that is not red. That is red. The only common digit between 7 and 9 and 8, 9 options is the 9. Here's our break-in. And therefore red has to be part of it. And I also know now that red is in here, and clearly I also know that green is not there because green is 7. Quite lucky that the 7, 8, and 5, 6 were correct actually. So I don't have to worry about that. 7 is clearly not going to be added to a 9 to get to 17. So green is out in here. And this is green. Lovely. To get to 15, this now has to be 6. We haven't quite repeated any of these tricks. Actually, we can with orange. Orange is not here. Orange is not there. Orange cannot be on the arrow sum. Orange is in here, forcing this to be 8. And therefore, this is 4. This is 3. This is 6. This is 6. This is 1, 2, 3. Beautiful puzzle so far, Matt. 8 and 9. I'll keep the colors now, but I don't think we really need them anymore. And therefore, this has green. So this is 7, 8. So not 6, 9. And therefore, this is orange as well. And therefore, this is not orange. And this is not red. That's 8. That's 9. Less useful. Actually, these are kind of useful. This is 1, 2, 4. That can't be 1. 1, 2, and 3 in here gave me a 4. That's forced. 9, you see, still works inside a 13 cage with a 4 in here, so nothing's forcing this yet. And because we're getting to an 8, I can remove 4 and 5 as options. This is now 6 or 7 plus the 1 or 2. We can also do a bit more Sudoku. Remember, we were kind of struggling with the 7 can actually be on here, so can the 6, so can the 8. But the 9 was never on any of these arrow cells. So 9 has to be in one of these 2 cells. 9 is down here. 9 is in one of these 3 cells. I'm not going to keep coloring at this point, by the way. 4 is none of these. 4 is in one of these 2. 4 and 8 being removed. 3, 6 is still an option. As is 1, 2. So my options are 3 and 6 or a 1, 2 pair. 1, 2 pair is not actually a bad shout. Because the 1 and 2, there you go. Box 8 with the 1, 2 pair that I have in here, it can't be in row 8. Therefore, both of the 1 and 2 have to be on here. And therefore, they both have to be on the black crop kit up because I'm not going to be able to put 1 and 2 with either the 3 or 6. So this is a 1, 2 pair. Notice how they line up. That would be useful. That is not a 1. That is a 1. Now, these 2 cells have to add up to 7. And my options are, I'm going to fully pencil mark this now, so I'm going to lose these. 2 and 5 or 4 and 3. 2 doesn't work because of the 1, 2 pair. That's 3, 4. Stunning puzzle. Loving it. 6 is definitely in here. This is not a 2. 2 is in there. I mean, I may as well pencil mark the whole lot at this point. This is 2, 5, 6. And just do that. Right. No 7s, no 7s. No 8s, no 8s. But you see, 8 can be here. Let's have a think around what is the rest of this. So I need another 5, 6 and a 7, 8. Not 3, by the way. 5, 6, 7, 8. Not hugely useful. So I think the 13 cage is probably going to be useful soon. Can this be 2, 3, 4? The answer is yes. 2 in here and then 3, 4. And then that would be 1. The other option, of course, is there's so many options when it comes to 3 cells for 9, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. What am I missing in here? 6 and 5. That is my 6. This is my 5. This is my 3. 6 gave me brilliantly. 7, 1. I'm kind of wondering, by the way, if that was forced all along, that this had to be a 1 as opposed to 2. No, I think I could have done 2, 5, 7, 6. Yeah, this was not forced. And this is 5. Sorry, 6. For a second I was thinking, where's my 6 in box 5? And then it's just because I can't do simple maths sometimes. Rest of this box, is that what I'm doing? Well, 3 and 5 have to be in here. And this is 2, 4, 9. Not as useful. Then this one gave me 2, gave me 1. These two cells are now known. 7 and 5. Doesn't give me a resolution. 1 and 8. Sometimes I say these things as if I'm surprised about what I need to put in. 2 and 4. Okay, this is another 5, 6. It is not 6. That's 5. That's 6. That allows me to pencil mark the rest of all of this. What am I putting in here? 3, 9, 6. Not a 6. Kind of surprised these are not resolved. So I guess I should probably think about the 13 cage sooner rather than later. Yeah, right. There's a definite 6 as well with Sudoku. And in fact, the 6 is just forced. None of these are 6s. 6, 7. Therefore, this is 9. I'm just going to lose the colors at this point. Not 9, therefore it's 3. Not 6, therefore it's 9. That's 6. And then that gives me my last, no it doesn't, that's a 9 X-Wing. 1 and 2 are still standing. 7 gave me, of course, 8 and 7. 20 minutes solve, so I don't think we're going to get onto puzzle 3. I'm sorry, whoever constructs the third puzzle, I just never seem to get around to it. 2, 4 means this is not 2, 3, 4. There has to be a 1, and therefore this is not 1. This is not 1. Now my options are 1, 2, 6, which it isn't. Therefore this is 1, 3, 5. Not 1 or 3, that's 5. 1, 3 pair gave me 2, 1, 3. That 2 gave me 4 and 2. That 1, 3 pair gave me 8 and 1. That 7 gave me 5 and 7. This is not 8. This is not 8. That's the only place for 8. I need 2, 4, 7. That's 7. This is 2. That's 4. This is now a known digit. I'm going to say 8. I need 1 and 2, which can only be in here. In fact, it's not 1, it's 2, 1, 2. Another known digit, 4. And sorry, it takes me a while sometimes to see some of these things. 5. And then I think I'm just left with Sudoku, aren't I? 2, 5, 5, 2. The 1 and 3 are not resolved. Yes, they are. 3, 1, 3. And we're pretty much done at this point. It is just Sudoku. All the variants are done. So, forget the 9s. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Not 8 or 9. That's 5. That's the 8. That's the 9. I need 1, 3, 4. 1 and 3 can't be here. That's 4. That's 1, 3 pair. The 4 and 2 means that's the 9. Can keep going. I need a 2. 6 and 7. 2 and 7 can't be here. That's 6. That can't be 7. That's 2. That's 7. That gave me 4, 2. That doesn't help. 1, 3, 5. So I need 1, 5. The magic remaining number that will unlock it all is 4. 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. phenomenal puzzle, Matt. Absolutely phenomenal puzzle. And yeah, I think the colouring definitely helped. Maybe should use it earlier. Hope you guys enjoyed both puzzles. Happy with both solves, other than just Sudoku scanning just always being a bit slow and sluggish. And that you guys enjoyed the video as well. And I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.